Hello my loves, and thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten and we are doing the Relax and Readathon. I am a day late, as always, in starting this. I was talking to Leandra about this last night as she was hosting sprints, part of her Patreon. We were talking about the fact that I was late starting my own readathon, and we were saying about how it's always kind of the case that the host ends up being, or can sometimes end up being, a little bit late because I was so busy wrapping up last week's vlog. Or, well, you're going to see it in literally like 2 days after this because this video is coming out first. But yeah, I was wrapping up the Christmas murder mystery vlog, which I had a lot of fun with, but I needed to finish out those 2 books and I just thought, I should probably just push this day back just a little bit. I've got no other plans today, so I'm just dedicating this whole day to the readathon and I really can't wait. It's been lovely seeing everybody chat in the Discord. So if you don't know what this is all about, this is a bi-monthly readathon that I host that is basically just a reminder to take one day for yourself to relax, have a bit of self-care, and you might as well read some of those books you've been meaning to read for a while as well. And we do have a Discord channel dedicated to it and it's been really fun seeing what everybody's been getting up to. We've had some people doing some reading, others that have done some baking, there's been holiday decoration making, there's been knitting, there has been some colouring going on. Like, there has been so many different things. Like, some people are out off to New York City and going off doing exploring different things and taking more of the lifestyle side of this, and it's just really fun chatting to everybody. But today I do plan on having a really relaxing reading day, which I'm so excited about. So I'm going to go through the plan and then we'll probably watch me fall apart because the plan doesn't plan and I change my mind. But we're going to give it a good go. So we do have the bingo board, which I have a lot of fun with. This is always available in Discord. Yes, I was meant to put it up on social media. Did I forget and realise until afterwards? Yes. I'm not great at keeping up with that. I apologise, but everything's always in Discord and it's free to join if you would like to. But across this bingo board we have a mixture of reading prompts and lifestyle prompts, and you can combine all the prompts in different ways. For the reading prompts, do whatever you want with them. It's just meant to just really relax, have a nice chill day, especially during this busy period. Like, it's so easy to get carried away thinking about others during this time that you forget to look after yourself. So I think it's really important that you just take a day, or even if it's just half a day, to slow down. But yes, okay, the bingo board, let's get to it. So we have read a book on your TBR, and I'm pretty sure that the book I decided to go for this, I know the 3 books that I'm reading, I just don't know what I assigned for what, so we'll just go with it. But we have A Christmas Tree Farm by Laurie Gilmore, which I've been really excited about. This is the first book I own in this series, but I did read The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore a few months ago and I really enjoyed it. I just had a lot of fun. It's like a cozy romance with a bit of spice. And this is a Christmas themed one. In this one we are following Kira, who hates Christmas but ends up with a Christmas tree farm, and then our love interest is Bennett, who is on vacation to Dream Harbour, and he's like, I am not helping this grumpy ass person run her Christmas tree farm, except of course he does, and a romance ensues, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's also slightly magical, I found in the last book, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to giving this one a try and just seeing about all those festive vibes. This would be my first, I think, Christmas romance as well, so I'm really excited for it. I'm really in a romance mood. I was talking about that in the reading vlog, which for me was like filmed last, but for you is the next vlog that you're gonna see, and talking about how I'm really in a romance mood, that I'm really feeling it. So this should hopefully scratch that itch, and I do love just how, look how festive this is. Is that not gorgeous? So yeah, that is that one. Then we have a lifestyle prompt of have a hot drink or a beverage of choice, and for me this is really easy to do, especially during winter. I constantly drink hot drink. Like, I love my tea. However, I do actually have a free drink at Costa, so I might combine 2 prompts, which we'll get to the next one last shortly, and go to Costa and get my hot drink and take a book with me, and I think that would be really fun. So that's kind of the plans. We'll see what happens there. See, I might change my mind and not want to leave the house at all, but I feel like Costa, I mean, it's literally a 2-minute walk. I come out my door, I turn right, it's literally 2 minutes and we're right there. So I think I can pretty much manage that, and it's a free hot drink, so I'm not even spending money at this point. So that's going to be my plan. We'll see. I mean, I'll still have hot drinks at home, so I'm succeeding on this one regardless, but anyway, that was a lot of waffling. Then the next reading prompt is continue a series / book you're in the middle of, and again, probably, hello, gonna end up using this one for it because I do want to finish this in one day, and so I will be literally in the middle of this at some point in the day, which I will then continue, is the plan for that. You can see how much these prompts are just chill. Do what you want with them. But yeah, that's going to be the plan for this one. Because this book is, what, 300 and something? Just under 350 pages. So hopefully I will get this read, because it should be a quick read for me. Because, you know, it's a romance. You don't have to focus too much on what's going on. But we'll see. But regardless, this will be a book that I am in the middle of reading at some point during this day. So then we have read a book you have wanted to read for a while. For me is The Wood at Midwinter by Susanna Clarke. The minute I heard that this book was being made, I wanted to read it. This is such a beautiful little book, and honestly it's going to take me 5 minutes to read, and I'm thinking this is the book that I'm going to take to Costa with me, because this will take me barely any time to read at all, because there's hardly any text in it, but it will be a nice like 20 minutes at Costa with my hot drink reading my book. I think that would just be really, really cute to be able to do. So I'm planning to read that at Costa. Again, could change if I decide not to go out. Originally, I was going to start off my day reading this one, but then I had the notification that I have that free hot drink, so I'm like, sounds like a good vibe. But this one, I don't know what it's about. It's so tiny that I don't want to know what it's about, but Susanna Clarke's one of my favourite authors. I really adore her work. I'm actually currently in the middle of my reread of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, although I did have to put that down for a week, but I'm really looking forward to getting back into that book, which I'm going to continue in next week's reading vlog, which is not the next one for you coming out, the week after that. After Christmas. Honestly, juggling video schedules is hilarious. But yeah, so this is the plan. I've been excited for this since I saw it. Like and then as soon as I got it, I knew I'd be reading it for this readathon. Like I just think it's going to be magical and wonderful, and I love the writing, so that is perfect. Then we have enjoy a cozy hobby, and this really is whatever your cozy hobby are. As I said, we've already had people that have been knitting and colouring and making decorations and stuff and just getting crafty. For myself, I'm planning on once again baking. I have missed my baking. I haven't done any baking in a little while, and I want to make some gingerbread men. I've never made that before, so we're going to see if it actually works, but that's the hope that we're going to be able to make that. I think I'm going to get started on that soon, because one, I'm getting a bit peckish, and two, then it'll be done and out the way and I can munch on the gingerbread men throughout the day. Is kind of what I'm thinking. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to doing that. I always enjoy my baking. I mean, I would also like to play some Animal Crossing, but I know I'm probably not going to because of the fact that I want to get this book finished in one day. And also, reading does count for your cozy hobby. So if all you do is read all day, well, that's still ticking off that prompt. We have go outside, which, as I said, I'm gonna go to Costa, so that works. And then we've got read a short book, which for this one, I would like to start the short story collection, Midwinter Murders by Agatha Christie. This is something that I'm reading over the course of the whole season. There are 12, so I'm hoping to read 4 per month, so like one a week to get this finished out in the season. I am a bit behind on that, but you know, I'm thinking one would be really good. The first one is only 18 pages long, so definitely can get that done. And then the last prompt is to light a candle, play some music, basically set the ambiance, and I love candles, so I will be doing that probably when it gets a little bit darker, which, let's face it, in England during winter, that's probably going to be in like 2 hours time. Just gone 9:30. Well, it's 9:35, and this readathon for me does go over 24 hours. I sleep. I'm going to be sleeping. Again, this is about a relaxing readathon. I'm not trying to read as much as I possibly can. I am just trying to remind myself to take a day to chill. So this will be wrapping up about this time tomorrow, maybe a little bit later, depending on what time I wake up. So those are the plans. We'll see what actually happens. But I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you took part, I hope you all had a lovely, relaxing time. And I know some of you are actually taking part next weekend and changing it out, and some of you have been doing it over the month, etc. I hope you enjoy it, is basically all I'm trying to say. But okay, I have waffled on so long, and I have a whole day of being able to ramble at you, so I am gonna go. I think we're gonna start reading for an hour, or maybe half hour, or maybe I just bake. I don't know. Well, I'll find out. I'm hungry. I haven't even had breakfast. I'll have breakfast first. We'll read a bit with breakfast, and then we'll do some baking. That's the plan. almost exactly 2 hours since we started this readathon, and I have baked the gingerbread. So they are now cooling. Once they're cooling, we can decorate them. I did the 6 medium sizes that you saw, and then after I stopped filming, I still had quite a bit of dough left, so I was like, let's just see what we can do. So I ended up with 6 tiny little ones as well. Really excited to see how they actually taste. With breakfast, as you saw, I decided to actually read my short story of the day, was The Chocolate Box. And it's only a short one. Like I said, it was only, what, 12 pages or something? No, 18 pages. But it was fun. Like, it was a Hercule Poirot short story, which I've just read loads of Hercule Poirot stories because of the Christmas mystery vlog. In that one, the short story collection was 5 of them were Hercule Poirot stories and then 1 Miss Marple at the very end. So I've read a lot of Hercule Poirot, and this is the most I've read of the work that involves him because I've been working my way through the Miss Marple series and wanting to finish that off first. So the only ones I've read with Hercule Poirot are short stories and then one other Christmas one that I read last year. And I do like him as a character. He is very over the top, very frivolous, but it's kind of fun at the same time. Yeah, I read this one, and in this one, The Chocolate Box, he was detailing where he made a mistake, which was a lot of fun. Actually, I quite liked it. Just a nice, easy one to start the day off with breakfast, so I enjoyed that a lot. I don't think I'm going to be reading more from here today because, as I said, I do want to make some good progress, if not finish out, the Christmas tree farm, which I haven't started yet, but I'm thinking while I'm waiting for the gingerbread to cool, I think I'm going to start this. I'm already feeling like changing my mind about going to Costa, I'm not gonna lie, because I just, it's not even far, but also I'm just like, I'm really cozy inside. I might change my mind after a few hours and be like, okay, I'm ready to get out of the house now, but for now, I think I'm just gonna stay in and chill, and maybe we'll see what time does Costa close today, because it's a Sunday, so everything closes a lot earlier on a Sunday. Okay, so it closes at 5 p.m. and it's only 11:40 right now, so we've got ages, so I might just pop out in the evening maybe to do that. So yeah, for now I think I'm just gonna relax with this, give this a start, and then we'll decorate the gingerbread and go from there for the day. Oh, you know what? The flat smells amazing because it's just smelling of all the ginger and cinnamon, and it is lovely. Plus the candle that I lit. Oh, good vibes, good vibes. Which actually, speaking of that, I should talk about the bingo board because we did already tick off 2 prompts. Read a short book. That is done. Very happy with that one. And then we also did light a candle / play some music. So we've done that one as well, which I'm very happy with. I haven't played any music, but I did like the candle. I have also watched Leandra's Murdermus videos that she's doing. Oh, it's so much fun. So if you haven't been following it, you should give it a try. But basically, Leandra's been doing this series where she wrapped up, I think, was it 16? Yeah, 16 books. 12 of them were taking place and intended to be for Christmas time, and then 4 white elephants to kind of like throw a spanner in the works. And she has been doing these vlogs where she's unwrapping the book. And so I had that on playing in the background while I was doing my baking, and oh, it was perfect. It was so much fun. After my Christmas mystery reading week, and then reading a little murder mystery short story this morning, and then watching Murdermus, oh, it was a good vibe. But time to change up gears and go into some romance, which I'm so excited about. So yeah, okay, this has been a really nice start to the day, and honestly I am feeling pretty content just to chill and while away the hours and just relax. So I think I'm gonna do that. Maybe find like a fireplace ambiance or something to have on in the background and just chill out with my book. I feel like that sounds great. It's 1:40. I keep doing this every 2 hours on the dot. I am impressed with myself for that because that's not even intentional. But 2 hours later, I've started the Christmas Tree Farm. I was initially just going to update when I got 100 pages in, but I'm up to chapter 7, page 77. So not quite 100 pages, but I've just finished decorating the gingerbread. So I thought it would be a good time to pop in and give an update. Initial thoughts. I'm liking it. It's an easy read. It's cute and cozy. I will say it's kind of ridiculous at the same time. So we're following the two perspectives. So the first person you meet is Kira, and she has taken on this Christmas tree farm. Now she did this very recklessly. She didn't even view this place. She literally just bought it and went for it after being inspired from Instagram, these people that create these homesteads living on a farm and stuff, and she was like, I can do that. It'll be a nice cozy thing. Plus she wanted a new fresh start because her twin sister has just moved country and they've never been apart before, and she feels very abandoned, very upset about it all. Like, don't worry, she's happy for her sister, but she does feel like, well, I've just lost that half of me, my better half, and so she's really struggling. But then she gets to this farm and she realizes this farm's in really bad condition and she just doesn't know what to do. She hasn't had a clue. She's come from a very privileged background. She's never had to do things for herself, very annoyed about it all, and honestly she's very self-depreciating, where she just constantly gives herself a really hard time and kind of wallows in the despair rather than being like, okay, cool, well, maybe this wasn't the most thought out plan, but we're now going to do something about it and I will find out how to do these things and I will make it work. Instead, she's kind of wallowing in it, which, you know, we all need a good wallow every so often. You need to feel your feelings, but it's that reminder of don't get stuck in your feelings, like you have to move past them at some point, that I feel like we're missing from here. But then we have Bennett, and Bennett is on holiday. He is visiting his sister. He's just staying in Dream Harbour for a month. He is working remotely while he does, and he's had like previous romances that just haven't really worked. He's essentially a very nice guy that hates telling people no, and as a result gets taken advantage of a lot. But he comes across the Christmas tree farm. He's taking his dogs out for a walk. He doesn't realise that it's owned by anybody and bumps into Kira, and then he starts realising, oh, she's staying here, there's no proper heating, it's really cold here, you know, and he starts wanting to help her. But he's also getting roped into going to the Christmas tree farm more than what he was initially thinking by the actual town council of Dream Harbour, because there is something that is meant to be buried in the Christmas tree farm and they don't know what it is. Some people are thinking it's treasure, some people are thinking it's a dead body from the previous person who owned it, his dead wife. Like, they don't know. Honestly, it's kind of ridiculous, but it's all based on the fact that the mayor had a dream, which links to other books in this. He has these dreams that sometimes come true. There was a dream that there was something buried in this farm, and they're like, you know, Kira has kind of very rudely told everyone to get lost whenever they've come to try and interact with her and things, and he is the only person that's even had the longest sentence with her because he had dogs with him and she is an animal person, and so they kind of volunteer him to be the liaison and go and check out what's buried there. Not that he's told her. I will say it's very insta lovey. I wouldn't say love, but insta lust, insta attraction, I guess, which, to be fair, you can get attracted to somebody very quickly. It does feel very, very quick. Feelings and thoughts and things are hyping up a lot. But I kind of expected that. I knew I'd be getting that from the book. That doesn't bother me. Like, is this the best written book ever? No, there are some moments of the communication, the dialogue between characters that is just a little bit like simplistic and could have been done better, but at the same time I'm enjoying it just for a fun, cozy, easy romance time, and that is what I'm getting. And there are parts to Kira that I can relate to, especially with that feeling of that closeness of sisterhood and then that being lost a little bit because people go down their own paths and live their own lives, so I can kind of understand that and just like adapting and adjusting to that and adjusting to the fact that people change. Kira's kind of going through that, and you know, at this point in her life she's never done anything for herself. This is her first time living alone and she feels that loneliness and things. For me, I live alone and I'm absolutely adoring it. I feel like you can connect to Kira quite a bit. Bennett is very good, very, very, very sweet. I mean, it's fun. Like, is this anything in depth? No. But it's fun, and I like the town, and I like the fact that it's kind of cute and a little bit... Oh, what was the word? I literally had a word, and now it's gone. I don't know. I can't think of the word. It's gone now. I'll probably remember it as soon as I stop recording. Kind of like a little bit too sweet, but also I don't mind. So I'm planning to read more of this. I'm actually going to go make myself a cup of tea. I might do myself some digestive biscuit tea actually. Do a loose leaf tea in my teapot and then try one of the gingerbread because I haven't tried it yet. I just decorated them and then I thought I'll do this update and then I will have one of them. And I really quite like the fact that I've got big ones and little baby ones. Like, it's cute and it was a lot of fun. I mean, some of them came out a little bit wonky in the decorating, but it was fun and easy to do. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they actually taste like. I'm a little bit concerned, like I don't know if I overbaked them or I don't know. I've never done gingerbread before, so I guess we'll find out. I mean, I've done ginger cake and I liked that. So if the gingerbread doesn't quite work, because I've tried biscuits before and my cookies actually turned into cake. These are actually hard, like these are hard, so they're definitely biscuits, which is good. I just don't know if they're actually going to be tasty, but if it's not, I can just do ginger cake and we'll just stick to that in future. I'm having a fun time. It's a relaxing time. I kind of plan probably to read for another few hours and then go out and get my hot drink. I think I am actually going to do that because I think it'd be nice just to change up scenery a little bit and go there. And hey, if the gingerbread doesn't work, I can get myself a gingerbread from Costa. So let's go try that gingerbread, have a nice cup of tea, read some more of my book. I'm having a really nice time actually. I know I'm actually really in a reading mood. Like the last couple weeks, I've read a few books. I have actually finished some books, but I've also been starting so many books. It's actually really nice just to sit down and read a good chunk of a book in a day and hopefully finish it out. Like I think it will really get me back into my reading mojo and wanting to actually finish out things, because I've been starting and putting down a lot of books and a lot of it was research for something else, which if you've been watching my reading vlogs you know exactly what that is. It still meant that I was picking up a lot of different things but not fully finishing them. The amount of samples I have downloaded onto my Kindle to read the samples to then decide different things with it and decide whether I'm going to continue with it and stuff, but not being able to continue it straight away because I've got so many other. It's been a whole thing, so it's really nice just to sit down with this book and read good chunks of it at a time, but also not used to it. I haven't been reading in big chunks. I think in at least, well, I think the last time I did it was finishing out A Power Unbound. That I finished off the end of that in one big sitting. I absolutely loved it. It was great. But that was like over a week ago. So since then I haven't really sat down. I keep getting distracted with other things, but I finally decided on everything. There is one thing left that I want to do and then I'm done. I am done with that, which I need to just... It's Battle of the Booktuber, so all I need to do is just keep an eye on my competitors, make sure they're not reading the books that I have listed for them, but then I'm done. So then hopefully with that being done, and with reading this today, I can get back into my reading mojo fully and get back into finishing books off and feel really confident rather than starting so many different things. And some of them have been really interesting and I've added to like my wish list and things, or I've added to my Kindle that I'd be interested in reading at some point. It's kind of draining. Like I kind of get it. You know, sometimes you have YouTubers that do the challenge, like Becca did one recently where she did her Shelve It or Scrap It series, and in one of them she was doing reading the first bit of a book. Was it the first chapter or something? Or she was reading the first bit of the book but never actually allowing herself to finish a book, and she was talking about how in that video she actually got really fed up of that, and I can really relate because that's kind of what I've been doing the last 2 weeks, maybe more. I think 3 weeks, I don't know. It's been a lot where I've just started and not finished a lot of things, and it's really took me out of the enjoyment of wanting to finish things, and just it was kind of almost putting me into a slump, I guess is what I'm saying. Anyway, my camera battery is now flashing at me. I've clearly rambled on about nonsense for too long. It's time to make a tea and get to reading more of this. now 4 o'clock, and if I want to go Costa, I've only got an hour to do it in, and I do want to sit there. Oh, I think I jolted the camera there a bit, so if we moved, sorry about that. But yeah, I do want to sit there and read The Wood of Midwinter. I think it'd be really nice, and I actually think it's a good time to change up books because I am now up to chapter 17, 193 pages into the book. So I have about 160-ish pages left to go. So I don't have long left. I am enjoying it. This is definitely an easy book to just binge read. You know, it's still a little bit ridiculous. It's still repetitive. I will say I actually found the same with the Cinnamon Bun bookstore, is that it does get a little bit repetitive between the two characters. I still really like it. I'm still having a good time. The vibes are there for the festive season. We're in the run up to Christmas with people buying their Christmas trees. We're also at like this weather warning for a snowstorm, and we're currently having Kira and Bennett holed up in her little house waiting out the storm, really. So it's definitely got all the vibes for the festive time period. So I am enjoying that, but it is a little bit repetitive between the two characters in dealing with the things that they're worried about, like their hesitations towards a relationship with one another. So for Kira, her realization that she has always taken advantage of people because of her situation, the fact that she is so affluent, and before this always had access to her parents' money. She never wanted for anything, and she realized what she'd been doing isn't right, that she had so much and was not grateful for any of it, was taking everything for granted. And so she made some big changes, but she doesn't want to fall back into the habit of just using people, and she's worried that that's what she could possibly do with Bennett. So you have a lot of discussions around that. Now, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It shows self-growth. I think it's always good for everyone to reflect on themselves and reflect on things that we can improve upon. So I think it's really good character growth, but also overdoing it and repeating it so many times when you're reading it in a book can be a little bit eye-rolly at times, because when it's done so much it can just feel a little bit forced and you don't really believe it. Also, strange angle, because we have to show off Miss Hermione, who has been sleeping here for pretty much most of the day, which I cannot blame her for, because I mean, that's pretty much all I've been doing is lounging around. I mean, if I showed you the rest of the sofa, there are just blankets everywhere, books all over the place. I've just done my walking pad. So I got a walking pad recently because I'm really busy. I don't get a chance to go to the gym like I would like to. I mean, I work 7 days in a row, 9 hours a day at my full-time job, and then I do YouTube on top of all of that. I do get my days off, it's just you have to do 7 days in a row, and then I get a certain amount of time off, and then I'll do another 7 days in a row, and it repeats like that. So it's a lot. And then in my days off and stuff, obviously I'm catching up with a lot of YouTube work. Even on my days before work, I do about an hour to 2 of YouTube work. So me finding time to actually go to the gym was just, I was really struggling to actually go out and do it, but I really wanted to keep up with some form of exercise. So I got myself a walking pad, and I have been loving it. So I've just done a 40-minute session on like a higher speed, and I read while I do it. And honestly, the time flies. I don't even notice it because I'm reading. Same like if I'm editing, I will walk on my pad and edit at the same time. It's so good. I genuinely think that was probably one of my better purchases this year, because I like doing exercise, keeping up with, well, everything that I do, and trying to find time to go gym but still need to edit and read, and it was just getting too much. So the walking pad. But the point of that is I've got my walking pad out currently. I've got my trainers all over the place that I use for my walking pad. I've still got my tea and everything, my teapot and the plate and everything from what I'd eaten earlier on the table. I've got washing up to do. Like, the place is looking a little bit messy, to be quite honest. But, oh, speaking of the teapot and that, those ginger cookies, I'm so impressed with myself. They are so tasty. It came out exactly how I want my gingerbread biscuits to be. I am so happy with them. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with that. They came out so well. I did try both. I tried the small one and the big one, and they both came out really well. Like, I'm very impressed with myself. I genuinely didn't think they were going to come out well. I honestly thought I'd be coming on here to say, yeah, that didn't really work, but you know, never mind, we'll try again next time. But actually, it worked really well, so I'm very pleased with those. I actually do need to tidy up a little bit. Well, where was I going with this? I don't know, I interrupted myself. Oh, that was it. So yeah, so Kira's repeating herself a about those things, about that growth that she has gone through, but is still always double checking herself that she's not taking advantage of people. Also, she's so determined to be independent for the first time in her life and not get everybody to do everything for her. She is then confusing being independent with thinking that she can then never ask for help, that she has to do everything on her own, and that's just not the case. So she's got that, so she's learning, for growing through that, which I like, but it's a little bit repetitive. And then the same can be said for Bennett. And so you're seeing both of them overcome these different things about themselves, which I am liking. Yes, it's repetitive. This is not the best book ever, but I am really enjoying it. I've been thinking to myself, what am I going to rate this on Goodreads? Because I'm having to rate on Goodreads, which I cannot wait until the end of the year, and I don't need to do that anymore. Star ratings are so annoying because you know what? Entertainment wise, 4 stars. Really enjoying it. The reality of what the book is and like the writing and stuff and how some of it is repetitive and that, then surely it should be like a 3-star. So I don't know. I hate star ratings. I don't like them. I'd rather sit here and say the things that I like and the things that I think could be improved upon and things. And it's so much easier. I think I'll probably settle on like a 3.5. We'll see how the ending goes and I'll put that on Goodreads. But then do I put that in the 4-star range but put 3.5, or in the 3-star range and put 3.5 in the notes? I don't know. And yes, I know there's story graph. I've tried that. I do not like the interface. I'm just not a online tracker, reading tracker thing. I'm just not very good at it. I don't enjoy it. And if it wasn't for Battle of the Booktuber, I wouldn't be doing this. But I don't know, I do really like it. It's a lot of fun. So I might just do 4 stars and then put 3.5. Because in reality, if I'm being critical, it should be like a 3.5. That's what I'm thinking. Who knows? I could change my mind because I could really enjoy this last bit of the book. But I think I am at a good point. I am just over halfway, so it'd be nice to have a good point to change it up and everything and read this one, which I'm so excited about, and go out and get my hot drink and sit there in Costa and read this. I think will be nice, and I think by the time I'm coming back, it's going to be dark, and there is a little Christmas tree place that's selling on the green, not too far from where I am, like literally just a few minute walk in the other direction. So I could literally go Costa, have my hot drink and read my book, and then go for a walk over there. I feel like that would be nice. So I might do that as well and really like amp up the Christmas feeling. It's only a little one, but I feel like kind of have to. If I'm reading Christmas Tree Farm, I should go check out my local Christmas tree selling area. Definitely not a farm, but should go check it out. I think that's the plan. Tidy up when I get back. I think that's the plan. I feel really good since I did that walking pad. Like I really enjoy it. And yes, today, technically I could have gone for a walk outside, but it's kind of harder to walk and read outside than it is just to walk and read in my house, because I know I'm not going to walk into anything. Plus I'm a homebody and any excuse to stay at home. But yes, okay, right. Let's go put some shoes on and go out to Costa. I think, it'll be a nice time. I think that'll be a nice little idea to do. This is what happens when you're out on your own for so long and you're talking to a camera. You just end up rambling about nonsense constantly. Good evening. It's now 8 o'clock of an evening, so it's been a good few hours since I last updated, and I did go to Costa as we saw, and I did really enjoy it. I had half hour before they were closing, which was perfect because I managed to finish this book in that time frame, and I liked this book, but I think there is going to be quite a few people that would be disappointed by this one. It's been a while since we've had anything from Susanna Clarke. The last one was Piranesi, which I thought was fantastic, and then to get this really small little story that is beautiful, like beautiful presentation with the gorgeous illustrations, but it's not exactly a cheap book. Like, it's still £10 for this, and it is just a little tale really. And at the back you do get a longer author's note from Susanna Clarke, which I did really like. I actually found that really helpful. It talks about the different things that have inspired her books and how this one has been inspired by Kate Bush and some of her snow songs that were put out, or I think it was an album that was put out, which I thought was really lovely. It's not music that I've listened to. I mean, I'm not a massive music person anyway. I actually prefer things like instrumental music if I'm going to be listening to music, but just generally speaking, I'm not a massive music person. Plus, if you tell me a name, I'm not really going to remember it. If I listen to the music, I can tell you and be like, oh yeah, I recognise this, but I wouldn't be able to tell you who the artist was or things like this. But I am intrigued to listen to it, as it did inspire parts of this book, which I like. This is just a really unusual little kind of modern fairy tale, kind of like Brother Grimm-esque or Hans Christian Andersen. That sort of like older classic fairy tale feeling, and this is set in the world of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, but there's nothing explicit connecting it to that tale. You could very much read this without having read that book. Like, it's not following any particular character within the story, so it's not connected in any tangible way. It's just that the location that this is taking place in could be somewhere within the story of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. Personally, I was expecting like a little bit more, but I still really love the writing. I still think it's absolutely beautiful, and after sitting with this tale for a little while longer, reading the author's note, seeing what she was actually trying to do with it, I do like it. But it's a tale about this young girl, Meredith, who is desperate to have a child, not necessarily a human child, and it's about that love and wanting. It's about nature and the fact that she can communicate with animals, the trees, the wind, and just being in tune with it, and maybe just transcending that love beyond what we would accept in today's society. And I think it is very interesting to look at in that way, but also at the same time it's very childlike. I don't mind the fact that this was very childlike in its way. It very much felt like a children's fairy tale, but I did like it. Like, it's very magical, very whimsical. It's got references to saints a lot and how we perceive saints, or how we used to perceive saints, I guess. Yeah, it's an interesting book, but I can see this not being one for a lot of people because they would find it disappointing. For me, I still like it. I think it's a nice little short story. Do I wish there was more depth to the story? Yes, but this is almost like an abstract story, and it's once you read the author's note that you can kind of see these different things, and then you go, oh okay, and then I could probably reread this story and see it in a different way. But that's what it kind of feels like. It feels like a very abstract fairy tale that you can unpick the layers when you know more about it, if that kind of makes sense. Or that could just be me looking far too deep into this story further than what it actually is. But yeah, I don't know, I did like it. I think it was a nice little read. It definitely broke up the reading, which was what I needed. It was a complete change of pace. I guess I wasn't expecting something quite so childish leaning. I think that's my only thing. Like, I don't mind that it was a short little fairy tale. That doesn't bother me. I don't mind that the link between Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell and this book was so tenuous and honestly barely even there. None of that really bothers me. It was more the surprise at it being such a young book. Like, honestly, this could be a little short story that I would have read when I was a child alongside those childish fairy tales, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. So yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna rate this one as, to be fair. It's got not a massively high rating on Goodreads, but then that's the same as Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell as well, so I'm not surprised at that. It's still beautiful. I don't know. I have no idea, but I did like it. I thought it was nice. The illustrations were lovely and it was just a nice little story to read, having a hot drink. Like, it served its purpose well, and I do think it is a good winter story. I mean, that's it. There is nothing really much more to say about it, so I'm just gonna stop talking about it because I don't know what else to add to that one really. It'll be interesting to see if anybody else has read that and what you thought of it. I'm kind of like mixed feelings about it. It's a shame. I was really expecting to go in and be like, oh yep, amazing, new favourite, goes in with the rest of the stuff, but I also don't, I mean, it's definitely not a new favourite, but I just don't know exactly how I feel. I feel like without that author's note, my initial reaction was just one of like, oh, it was fine, but that's it. With the author's note, I have more context to it, and I like that. I'm interested in it a lot more. Does that really change everything? I don't know. But right, okay, I have read a bit more of A Christmas Tree Farm. Not much. I've got up to chapter 20, page 237. So we are in the home stretch. We've got just over 100 pages to go of this book, so I'm definitely going to be getting this finished, which I'm actually pretty impressed with. Like, I wasn't sure if I'd be able to get this one finished alongside 2 other short stories, because sometimes in these readathons I just want to read one book only and then don't read anything else, and then other times I actually manage to get a few things done. I have taken a bit of time away from reading today, so when I got back from Costa I did the tidying, which was needed, and then I took a bit of time just not reading because I think I needed to process my thoughts on the Wood at Midwinter. So I updated my reading journal, as you saw. I also did a bit of b-roll for my cozy new releases video, just updating my recipe journal with a couple things. So what I've been doing is writing stuff down in pencil a lot, and then when I'm really happy with that recipe I'm like, okay, now it can go down in pen. I mean, I definitely wouldn't do it in the same style that I did it in. I feel like that was a bit of a mess, but it was really nice to take that break away. I also caught up on a bit of YouTube. I watched Rainy's new video, which was hilarious. She did this baking point, and oh, genuinely I was crying with laughter. It was so funny. Absolutely loved that. I also read Samantha's new video. I also watched Samantha's new video, so I'll have her channel linked below if you don't give her a follow already. This was her November wrap up, and that was always really good. And then I'm also in the middle of watching Gavin's newest video, so I'm kind of like just catching up on a bit of booktube, but it's nice to have it on in the background while I was pottering around doing things. I've had some dinner, so yeah, I feel like I've had enough time with not reading. I think I took probably about, well, it was about 3 hours away from reading, and that's been really nice, just to give myself a nice little break and do a bit of journaling. I'm not really feeling Animal Crossing. Like, I know when I go to play it I'll be enjoying it, but I'm in the mood to be just a bit more creative. That's why the journaling side of things was really good. But there's a few other like things I want to work on, but I can't show you what any of that is yet. I've got this whole project thing that I'm trying to work on, and I did initially have a deadline for the beginning of January. I think that's gonna have to be pushed back because I'm nowhere near ready. So I've got lots of things that I'm thinking about and doing that way. So I don't know, I might just draw a little bit. I don't know, we'll see what I'm feeling. I think right now I'm just wanting a nice cup of tea. I'm thinking do myself a nice mint tea and then read some more of The Christmas Tree Farm, and then potentially even just finish it and then maybe spend the last little bit of the evening relaxing. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea what I want to do. I know right now I want to do a cup of tea and read my book. So that is what we're going to do. The next update, I don't know when that's going to be because I'm starting to feel a little bit tired. So I'm thinking actually I would also like just to get ready for bed. I'm not going to sleep yet. I probably won't sleep for a few hours. It's only 8 o'clock, but I was up really early. I was up at like 6:30 this morning without an alarm, but I was just up at 6:30 naturally. And then I did try and sleep a little bit more, but it was on and off. A delivery guy buzzed my doorbell at 8 o'clock this morning. 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning. I'm not expecting that. And then eventually once that happened I was like, well, I'm just gonna give up. And the buzz, let me just show you because it's literally right here, was just for some tops again from Uniqlo. If you've seen a previous video, I got this gorgeous top. I absolutely love it, but they were having more of a sale, so let me show you. Do I have it? Hang on. So it's this gorgeous top. I'm absolutely in love with it. It's a thermal top. It is so freaking warm and I love the print. Like, I wasn't sure if this would work, but I absolutely love it. You can tell I'm tired because I'm giving you a whole story that you didn't need. I then saw they were having more of a sale and that this was actually only £10. I went and got myself a spare one just because I know I'm going to wear it a lot. And then I saw they had the same thing, like it's another turtleneck in a different print, and it's just like this very simple beige with like these white spots. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it, but again, it was only £10. Thought even with buying these two, it's still cheaper than buying one at full price. So I need to try this on. Probably wear it tomorrow, to be fair, and we can see how it looks together when I wrap up this video. But yeah, so that's what woke me up this morning, which I was not expecting at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I am feeling a little bit tired, like not massively, and I have waffled on for 17 minutes, which who knows how much of this is going to stay in the vlog. To be fair, I keep a lot of my rambles in. It's just when I start repeating myself consistently that I'm like, okay, yeah, they heard this, they don't need to hear this for the 5th time. But yeah, okay, right, I'm gonna do that tea. No, I'm gonna wash my face, get myself ready in my pajamas, and then do my tea. That is what we're doing. Good morning! I really like this new top actually. I think it's got a nice subtle design. It's time to wrap up this readathon, and I had a really nice time. Honestly, it was really nice to just chill, and I did get the book finished. So yesterday evening I did finish out The Christmas Tree Farm, and I did enjoy this one. I just thought it was a really fun time. Thinking about it, there were a couple plot things that didn't really make too much sense or wrap up that well in terms of like the whole searching for a dead body on the farm. I feel like there could have been more done with that, but there really wasn't. It was just kind of like a convenience as a reason why Bennett had to keep going back to the farm, or at least that's what he was telling himself. It wasn't really anything that actually added anything to the storyline. It was fine, and it was kind of like hastily wrapped up at the end in like the epilogue. So it was fine, and the romance itself was cute. Like I say, you did have that bit of repetition going on. I'm kind of used to that in a lot of romance books, to be quite honest, but it was good to see like their individual growth and then growing together. Like I did enjoy that. So look, is this the best book ever? Is it going to be a book that I recommend to everybody? No, not really. But did I enjoy it? Did it give me what I wanted? Yes. It was a fun little time. I was in the mood for a festive romance for the first time ever, and I did enjoy my time with it, and I do like this town and I do like these characters, and it was really fun to see like Hazel and Noah, which is from the second book, and seeing them. I still need to read the very first one, The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, which yeah, it's kind of odd that I've read the second and third without reading the first one, but they are romance books, so we know what's going to happen. So me knowing that they got together at the end of it, well, that doesn't change it. I don't know exactly the ins and outs of their story, which is what that first book will be. I do have it on Kindle, so that's something to pick up like whenever I'm feeling in the mood for a romance. I've got it there if I want it. But no, I just like these. They're just a fun, silly time. I don't take them too seriously, and we'll be continuing on. I think the next one is the Pancake House, I think, which is coming out potentially February, or is it March? One of the two, which I will be continuing on with. Do I think I'm actually going to buy all the physical copies of these books? No, not particularly. I'm quite happy to have the one on my shelf and then have the rest on my Kindle, because that's what they are. They're just fun, light reads. They're not anything where I'm like, oh, I'm going to definitely reread. Like I probably will reread them, like this one at Christmas time I'll probably reread in a couple years time, but it's not something where I feel the need to own every single book. I am trying to get better in the habit of being like, okay, well if I own one in the collection I'll be happy with that, because it's not like it's a new favorite, it's just a really fun, cozy, spicy time. So I feel like, yeah, owning this one physical book I really wanted to do, because I knew I wanted to read this one physically. I knew I wanted it for the readathon, but I don't feel the need to buy the rest, unless of course there is one that comes up and I'm like, oh no, that's my favorite out of the series, then I will probably get that one. But until that happens, I'm really happy to just have this one on my shelves and then the rest on my Kindle. You'll have to let me know if you've read this series and what your favourite book is. I mean, it could turn out that The Pumpkin Spice Cafe ends up being my absolute favourite one out of the series, and I'll be like, okay, well now I have to get that first one. But yeah, I liked this. It was just a silly time. Like I really don't have anything more to add to everything I've already said. It's not the best writing. There are some plot conveniences. some things don't get wrapped up fully, but it's mainly there for a romance story, and it had the Christmas vibes, which is all I really wanted from it, and so it delivered. So I'm very happy with my time spent reading this one. Yesterday evening, once I finished it, I did have like a bit of time. I think I finished it at like 10, so I did have a bit of time before I went to bed, but in the end I just kind of ended up not really doing loads. I just kind of like didn't really do too much. That was fine. And this morning I've already started editing this video. I need to get ahead because I need to get this video edited all in today, which is doable, but I just need to make sure I get that done. So I've already started doing little bits of that, but I think it's time to actually go through this bingo board because I realized I've not gone over this bingo board since I said about it in like the second update, where I was like, oh, look at me keeping up with my bingo board, and then I just forget till the very end because that's just the way it goes. So to go over the bingo board, we read a book on my TBR, and this also worked for the other book prompt of continuing a series. It's the third book in a series, and it was also a book that I was in the middle of reading yesterday, so it worked for everything. Why didn't I think about that when I said continue a series? This is the third book in a series. Point being, it worked for both of those bookish prompts. We saw that I did have multiple hot drinks throughout the day, so that one worked. Read a book I've wanted to read for a while. Completed that with The Wood at Midwinter, which I did enjoy. I can see why not a lot of people are loving it. It very much does seem like a childlike story, but I enjoyed the writing style of it, so I'm still kind of in the middle of this one. It's not one I would recommend. To be quite honest, it's not one I would recommend, but I did enjoy it. It might be one that I reread again in a couple Christmases time because it was a lovely like winter read, so I did think it worked for that. I did want a bit more from this story. Then we have Enjoy a Cozy Hobby. As we know, well, I spent my day reading. I have also done the baking of the gingerbread man, which came out so well. I was so happy with them. I had another one this morning and it just, yes, really pleased with that. I am new baking skill unlocked, making gingerbread, like, so good. And then we had Go Outside, which we know we did because I went to Costa to read The Wood at Midwinter and had a little wander around the tiny little Christmas tree selling area thing. And then we had Read a Short Book, which I read the first short story in the Midwinter Murders, which honestly wasn't very wintry at all, but it was a fun one, and I feel like it had a little feel of the festivities, mainly because it was around a box of chocolates, and I do kind of associate those big like box of chocolates and stuff with Christmas, which is a bit weird, but I really do. I just feel like because you're going in, everyone's sharing from the box, you know. Anyway, the point is, read that one, and I did light a candle first thing. Actually, I started off my day with lighting a candle, and I had that candle burning pretty much all day, and it was lovely because it was a beautiful smell. So I had an amazing time. I'm really pleased with what I read. Did initially, I think in my initial TBR video, I had one other book that I was planning to read, but I honestly can't remember what it was, and I was thinking about it yesterday, and I was like, actually, you know what, I think I've read enough. That's one thing that I really want to work on next year, is just making sure that I take my time with like, I love doing these readathons, but I'm really happy to just have one book I focus on and then maybe a couple short stories and leave it at that, because trying to read so much, like, I do enjoy, but also I enjoy taking my time. But yeah, so I just decided once I'd finished this one, I was like, yes, I could start another book, but I don't particularly want to. I'm very happy with the amount that I read, and honestly, it was a really nice day, and all of these did work well. I mean, just like look at all these covers, they just work perfectly for this time of year, so I'm very happy with it. Happy with finishing out the bingo board. Also came to the realization this morning that I could just create a Google Doc to link in the videos when I do the announcement videos of this bingo board, and also the old style that we used to have where it had frames to show off the books that you're doing, because I know some people liked that, and I could just have them both saved in a Google Doc, so I don't need to try and remember to post to places like Instagram and that, because I do forget that. Yeah, this would be good for any of that don't have Discord, don't want to join another Discord server, because I know it can be a lot, but you can use the Google Doc and access this. So we'll be doing that in future. It's only taken me like 2 years of hosting these to realize that that's something I could do, but hey, we made progress, just slow progress. So yeah, so I'm gonna do that in future. I've never done a Google Doc like that, so I'm sure it's really easy, so I will just get that all set up so that whenever I do an announcement video, the Google Doc will be linked below, so you can save the bingo board, or the other version depending on what you want to use, and that will just hopefully make things a little bit easier. I'm very pleased with my day. I have a busy editing day today, so I'm gonna get on and do all of that, but I'm really pleased with how the day went yesterday. I'm really pleased with the baking. It was so nice to bake. Missed it. I've missed doing my baking, although I realised I don't have a rolling pin, so I definitely need to get myself a rolling pin, because in the end I had to use a glass and it worked, but it would be so much easier if I just had a rolling pin. So definitely going to get myself one of those. Thank you so much for watching. You'll have to let me know, have you read any of these? What do you think? Did you have a good day if you took part? And I hope you're all doing well and not too stressed out with this festive time. I know it can be very difficult, so I'm hoping that everyone is taking care of themselves. I'm gonna leave it there. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for taking part if you did. I truly appreciate each and every single one of you. If you have made it to the end of this video though, I do think we need to put on a Christmas tree. If you've made it this far or you just don't know what you'd like to comment, you can leave a little Christmas tree in the comments below, and thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, then please do consider giving it that thumbs up, subscribing and commenting. Those 3 things really help this channel out. My social media links, everyone that I've mentioned, will be linked below for you, and I will of course catch you in the very next video.